If you are furious about the Supreme Court decisions that were just issued in the last few weeks, this is for you. So I've been thinking a lot about how in 2017, when we were filming Queer Eye in Atlanta, I was going back and forth between LA and Atlanta to shoot Game of Thrones and then shoot Queer Eye. And that was during the Jon Ossoff and Karen Handel election. And it was one of the most expensive congressional races ever. And I remember I was so curious about what was going to happen. And I was really into that election. And I was talking to an Uber driver who I was in the car with about it. And he was a younger guy. And I was like, are you going to vote? And he was like, I was like, who are you voting for? And he was like, I'm not going to vote. You know, my vote doesn't make a difference. It's not going to affect anything. This isn't going to affect any change. John lost that race really narrowly, but then he went on to win a Senate seat for the state of Georgia, which was, essential in us having control of the Senate in 2020, in the 2020 election. So, now it's like I think about these Supreme Court decisions, and if you're really frustrated about it now, and you're really disillusioned about it because maybe you showed up to vote in 2018, 2020, 2022, these decisions were really about Dobbs, the overturning of Roe v. Wade, the queer decision that was, people can discriminate against LGBTQ issues. I should know the name of that one, but also, there's just been so many different cases. But those were really decided not in the last few months. They were really decided in November of 2016. Donald Trump was able to completely reshape the Supreme Court. And if he had won in 2020, it wouldn't be a 6-3 tilt to the conservative side. It could be a 7-2 because we wouldn't have had Ketanji Brown Jackson if Biden hadn't won. So that's really what's at stake in 2024. And elections are really won on off-year election cycles. And so I've been thinking a lot about strategy. And yeah, we can be disappointed and frustrated, but we also need to be ready to strategize for 2024. And I think the strategy, when we look at election turnouts, a huge election turnout in the United States is 50%. A really big one's like 52%. We really, instead of wasting our time trying to convince conservatives and Republicans who have been committed to misunderstanding us, they've been committed to, not looking through the horrific disinformation and misinformation they've been given, and they've been committed to furthering anti-queer sentiment. We can't try to convince them. Who we do need to try to convince is the other 50% of people who do not turn out to vote, who think that their voices don't matter, just like that sweet kid in the Uber that I was talking to in 2017. So many people have been taught that your voice doesn't fucking matter. And your voice does matter. It matters. So use your voice to convince other people that don't vote to vote. So that's really what we got to do. We got to get the people who are not involved in the process involved in the process. And the time to do that is now. So talk about politics. Talk about what moves you. Talk about these issues. I love you so much.